So what happened that, when we put this EDI into place, then everything started working very fast in the custom side, and IceGate, and lot of, big servers have been put. But on ground, even today, if you talk to the customs brokers, if you talk to the cargo agents, same story goes on. Coming on the infrastructure. See, Delhi is dismal. We might be handling only 1 million tons in Delhi alone. The cargo tonnage is only about 3.6 or 3.7 million. Out of that, 1.3 million is domestic. 2.34 is international. So we are talking about hubs. I come to the third question. Now, hub has to have a throughput of, say, 3 million, 2 million, 4 million, like Hong Kong, Atlanta, Dubai, Singapore. Unless we have that critical mass, I don't think the hub concept is going to play here. And that is the reason why we are not able to put the freighters. I definitely congratulate Tushar because he has done wonderful work in the cargo field. And Blue Dart is a shining example. So I definitely feel that, he'll be able to do a good job in the freighter field also. Coming to the MRO. Now we are going to have about, say, 39,000 aircraft by 40. I'm taking a long-term view. And now we have about 800 aircraft. So you can scale up how much we are going to have it. And if there is no freighter at the moment in India, what are you going to do that? 3.7 million to 10 million, it is impossible to, go to that numbers unless we do something drastically good in our policies. So I'll stop here, and then probably I'll take the cues from this. Thank you very much. This is just an opening talk that I wanted to share with you.
Thank you so much, Dinesh ji. Very valuable points out there. I'm going to turn first to Keku. I'm going to ask you that another thought that came in the morning is on institutional coherence. And when I look at institutional coherence, I would see whether the three basic institutions that we have, or regulatory system that we have, one is ERA, one is DGCA, and the third is BCAS. One looks at the economic side of the regulation, another looks at safety, and the third one looks at security. But when we look at industry per se, for them, what matters is commercial viability. That was also hinted in the morning that our airlines are always under stress from a viability point of view. One of the things was that perhaps all the charges are not regulated. For instance, ground handling charges are not regulated. So that we are seeing ad hocism over there, or arbitrariness. Another one which is not regulated is, and we are having a huge amount of airport growth and private sector airport growth, is the issue of royalty. I remember putting royalty as one of the action points when we brought out the new air cargo policy in 2019, that there is a serious need for us to have a look at the viability of the entire air cargo chain, just from this aspect alone. But I would like you to take up the charges aspect and whether our three bodies, regulatory bodies, are cohesively looking at commercial costs on account of the economic regulation, the safety regulation, security regulation, and where does room for loopholes or gaps in, say, ground handling charges or royalty come from?
All right. Thank you.
It's a big question, huh? I'm sorry to put you in it.
Revenge time.
Revenge time.
All right. Thank you, Madam Ji, for having me. Thank you to the organizers. So a question to all of you. If you were to import a 737 freighter today, not import, move, from the Northeast to Delhi, a full set of pineapples, do you know what will the cost per kilo be as of this morning? Any guesses?
30.
It's 46 rupees a kilo. You know the cost of operating that aircraft from anywhere in the northeast to Delhi today? Just pure operational cost, just to break even. Any guesses? It's 82 as of this morning. The reason I brought this up as my opening point today is to understand the differentiation between the cost of product and the cost of flying the product. And when I say flying, I am including all the associated charges of the three regulators that you have mentioned, which is AERA, DGCA, and BCAS. What Mr. Kapil Kaul and Mr. Jani mentioned this morning about the viability of being a profitable airline today in the country has to be taken far more serious than what probably they have projected to you. We live in an era of challenging times, and what's going to make a big difference as we go forward is going to be the fact that our focus is going to be from an airline, airport perspective to what I call a beyond the airport perspective. This is what you are going to focus more, or what we all are going to focus more as we go forward. I've got 5 points, which I will very quickly go through, and then we'll get through the details. First one, very heartening to know that the UDAN scheme from the Government of India has got an infusion of about 26,000 crores for the next 10 years. I think this is probably one of the most encouraging news as far as finance is concerned towards the industry. However, I did not see any part of that 26,000 crores being an outlet for cargo or its associated segments. I stand to be corrected. If any of you have updated information, I'd be happy to know. But as far as I know, I do not see a segment of that 26,000 crores devoted to cargo. Second, and I think this is a topic that has been on my mind for a long time. I've had this discussion with a couple of people in the industry. Why are we charging royalty? I think it's time for a relook in the entire ecosystem. A royalty is a rent charging mechanism for the right to do business. You already have a profit share, you have a cost share mechanism, etc. Is it time, and I'm leaving this thought on the table in front of such an illustrious gathering today, do we need to relook at royalty? Are there other ways in which airport operators can be financially sustained? The reason I mention this is, again, coming back to the first point of cost of operations. How are you expecting the airlines to be successful? How are you expecting the rest of the people in the chain to be successful? It's just not possible. All right? There has something that we need to do, a rethink, a recalculation on how we can do this. The airlines are not going to absorb beyond a cost, as was mentioned this morning. So, then the cost of that product is going to be passed on to you and I as consumers. Right? Go back to my example of pineapples. So this farmer sitting somewhere in Tripura wants to send our pineapples to Delhi. He gets a good rate. Unfortunately, he cannot sell it because the cost of transportation is too high. Who's bearing this cost of transportation? It's something that we need to think about, and this does not apply just to cargo as a logistics service provider. It goes beyond this to the ground handlers, the catering companies, everybody in this chain. 3, I think it's time for what I also call a whole of government approach. Okay? I may sound controversial, so sorry about it. Why is it the responsibility of the Airport Authority of India or the Ministry of Civil Aviation in this ecosystem? Why isn't Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Logistics, Agriculture, Animal Husbandry, defense, why aren't they part of the same ecosystem? There is an airport in China called Zhengzhou. Not sure how many of you have heard of this airport. It's one of the world's airport that concentrates very heavily on cargo. What it did was, it did not make an airport. It made an aerotropolis. What does it mean? Airport was just the center of the activity. They invited industries, manufacturing industries, to be part of this ecosystem.